The youth co-hosts are back at the table from their holiday break as Season 5 of The Spotlight continues right now. This week on The Spotlight, we're catching up and clearing the table as we bring you an entire show of hot topics. Overturned. The Supreme Court's decision to block Roe v. Wade leads to protests across the nation.
What we're witnessing tonight is the loss of a right, the loss of a constitutional right.
How much impact after the Supreme Court's decision will people have in marginalized groups who are struggling to access healthcare and abortions going forward? Plus, an epic announcement that will change Spotlight history when a brand new co-host makes his or her debut to the Hot Topics table that'll have you screaming in celebration. And Victoria Wallace is guest co-hosting this week. Now, let's get it on and get this Spotlight party started.
Hello, welcome to the Spotlight, welcome to the Spotlight, welcome to the Spotlight, welcome to the Spotlight. I need help here. Listen, I'm going through a wardrobe malfunction, so don't mind me here. But listen, joining us as guest co-host today, we're thrilled to have Victoria Wallace with us here. Welcome, it's been a long time.
It's been forever. How are you?
I'm good. You know, I'm really good because we're really beginning the show with some incredible news. So that will change Spotlight history. And we are very thrilled and happy to announce a new permanent co-host joining us here. So please give it up and give a warm welcome to our new co-host, the one and only multimedia, Via Now wait a minute here. Listen, I don't know, this is not only too much fun, but I just went through a wardrobe malfunction just a moment ago here. Because apparently I talked to the producers, they never gave me any belt backstage here, and I'm like,
And you got the party's sticking to you. Wait, there we go.
Okay,
there we go.
Thank you.
Yes. Do I have any? You're actually good. You're good. Thank you. Oh my God.
Wow. Oh,
I'm like
I
crying
haven't
tears of
experienced this in a
joy.
long time, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, Via, welcome.
Thank you.
How's it feel?
Thank you. It feels so amazing. This is probably like my maybe 5th or 6th episode from guest co-hosting to now, or co-hosting. I'm like too excited to talk right now. Sorry. I am just so happy. Like it's been such a blast being on the Spotlight, and I'm glad to be here even more often now. So thank you for having me and locking it in.
Don't worry, we're going to clean this all up here, but this is a time of celebration and everything else here, but you know. And so a lot has happened, you know, since our 4th of July, and we haven't seen. So what did y'all do? How's everyone's 4th? How's everybody?
It was good. It was good. I feel like I'm still getting back into like the swing of normal life after having a little bit of a break. I was sick right before the 4th, which was not fun, but we're back in action, and I was better just in time to see my family and go back home to Massachusetts, which I haven't been to since like December. Wow. It's been like 6 months. So it was good to be back and to be on the beach and relaxing, and now I'm like having a hard time working and getting back to normal life again.
I can imagine.
Yeah. What about you?
Yes. Well, my 4th, aka 15 days after Juneteenth, was amazing.
Yes.
Okay. It was nice. I went home back to DC, spent time with my family. I have like all these nieces and nephews now, so it's really nice, like meeting them and reminding them that I'm still alive. So yeah, mine was great. How about yours? What'd you do?
Well, there's just so much going on. Throughout this entire month or after our 4th, my mind was just in vacation lazy mode up until a point. While I was waiting for the debut of Viad, and like, what could we do? What could we do? And this is what we did. And then all of a sudden, boom! I got too lazy, and I just want to give myself a break from all this, because it's a lot I have to deal with. But you know, this is really good. You know, I mean, new beginnings, new chapters beginning. I just wish our other co-hosts were here, like Crystal, who's still out and obtaining her master's degree currently.
Wow.
We hope to see her soon here. You know, here.
Yeah, well, this is good. Congrats to you.
Thank you.
I'm happy and I'm excited to learn about all the new energy and the new things that are going to transpire because of this new union. So, yes, fill me in. It's been forever since I've been here.
Yeah, since 2020 here, yes.
Before 2020.
Yeah.
It was like somewhere in like...
No, it was February 2020.
It was February?
Yes.
Before the chaos.
You're right.
Listen, I remember it very well, like it was yesterday here.
Yeah.
Because Courtney still owes me my medical bills for jumping on my body here.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. I can still feel the pain, no matter from my kidneys up to my back, and I'm like...
Oh my God, I think we saw that clip not too long ago. I wasn't here, but we did do a replay, I think, of it.
Well, get well soon.
Well,
I hope that is handled soon.
Well, we're all having our spotlight flashbacks all season long at our 5th season, and out of all the past 5 years, and yes, that's it.
Good, I'm happy. This is so fun.
Yes, this is so happy. So the next chapter, so we shall get into our hot topics in just a moment.
Talk about it.
Yes, so we'll be back in a moment here, okay?
It greeted you at birth. It was there for your first step, your first mistake, your first kiss. It's with you when you win, when you lose, when you pick yourself up again. In every moment, you can feel it. Life. Human right number 3, the right to life. What are human rights? Find out at youthforhumanrights.org.
Okay, kids, here we are at the slavery exhibit. Now, as you can see, the slaves were kidnapped from their homes, chained together for weeks. They would cram them onto these ships in very appalling conditions.
Thousands of women and children are being smuggled across the border.
Sexual trafficking of children. As you can see right here, they were treated like animals. They worked all day long for no pay.
In sweatshops raided by police, children forced into slave labor.
Some of the slave masters were very cruel. They whipped them and they beat them, as you can see in some of these pictures.
Brutal, even fatal.
So, before moving on, are there any questions?
Does this still happen today?
When I was walking home from school, they asked me for my money. I said no.
And all my friends ran home because they were scared he might punch them too.
I was screaming, but he just wouldn't stop.
He always said he would hit me. I just didn't think he actually would.
I don't know what I did, but they just kept on kicking me.
They tied me up and dragged me outside. They stripped me of my dignity.
She said she was going to teach me a lesson.
He said I wasn't listening. I didn't think he'd get so mad.
So welcome back. A lot has happened while we were on our 4th of July mini holiday break. For instance, the Supreme Court. On June 24th, 2022, the United States Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, the 1973 Supreme Court decision that affirmed the constitutional right to abortion. Over decades, research has demonstrated that abortion bans most severely impact people in marginalized groups who already struggle to access health care, including abortions, and protests occurred across the nation after abortion rights were overturned. Now, I want everyone to understand that everyone should still have the right to abortions, and at the same time, not everyone is on the same page with this topic here on abortions. Not everyone agrees or disagrees on this issue, but at the end of the day, it is absolutely your choice on what you want to do with your own body. So that brings to this discussion question, when you heard about this breaking news story, what did you think and what was going through your minds here, you know?
Gosh, I mean, honestly, I'm not a news watcher, right? So I think I was hearing like remnants of it or what would have become what was going on before, but I was like, oh no, that's ridiculous. This country wouldn't do that. And then the next day, so of course I was shocked, I was flabbergasted. I was like, no, this has to be a setup for something else to come, because this absolutely makes no sense. Like, how can someone... I can't, it's unfathomable. Like, I can't even really digest how anyone, especially someone who, all these people, they will never be pregnant. Like, these people that are making these decisions, they're way past pregnancy age. So how does this even affect you at all, you know? And I feel like, despite your personal opinion of it, if it's right, if it's wrong, like, I would never want to tell someone else what they should do with their body.
Do you believe in abortions, is the question.
Yeah. Even if I personally don't want one, I still believe in someone having the right to do that.
Exactly. And like you said about people being not of age or over the age in terms of being able to get pregnant, etc. Like, there's also a lot of men. It's mostly men.
That's what I'm saying.
And it's like, so like, you're so right in saying none of you will ever be pregnant. And like, that's so true. These are men.
These are men
making decisions about our bodies.
Yeah.
And these are the men that are just pro-life. And they're not pro-choice, because there's a difference between the two, between pro-life and pro-choice. And we all should remember that every one of us is pro-choice.
Yes.
There's a difference between the two. And many folks, mainly the conservatives, they don't understand that. And that's one of the problems that needs to be fixed and focused here, basically.
Yeah, the day that news came out, I felt physically sick. Like, it popped up as a news notification, and my boyfriend actually saw it on his phone first and went, oh my God, and read it to me. And like, my stomach seriously did like a flip. Because I remember a few weeks ago we were talking about this could potentially happen, this is in talks, this is in the works. And I was like, I was scared, but was also like, I don't think this could happen. Like, we're rolling back the clock, but it's just one of many steps that like the Supreme Court and government and unfortunately a lot of conservative people are doing to try to kind of strip rights from multiple groups of people, you know, not even just women.
Yeah, I'm curious to know, and I guess it's one of those things that's like one little thing leads into another, but I'm just curious to know, like, what is the plan? Like, what is the point of like declaring to people that you aren't able to terminate your pregnancy? And there are varying reasons why people may choose to terminate their pregnancy, right? It's not just, I drink and I smoke all the time and I don't want a kid. Like, it's way more dynamic than that. So I'm just curious to know, like, why are they so invested? Like,
it's like a control thing almost. I don't know.
I want to know what's the plan.
I think it's deeper. It's even deeper than we can probably even comprehend, which is scary to me. And it's so much deeper too than just unwanted or unplanned pregnancies, but people who are in situations where, God forbid, they are raped or there are cases of incest. Like, that's not even covered under this ban in certain states.
Absolutely.
That's what's so scary. And the penalty for seeking an abortion is longer than it is to get a penalty to rape somebody.
Yeah,
I can't even
disgusting.
believe that is coming out of my mouth. It's insane. And never mind the medical reasons. Like when a mother has to, people are going to die over this.
And that's one of the main concerns that every woman and even men that are concerned about, because anything can happen, and especially with children. That's another thing that I'm more concerned about. And I want to read a view here that where one of our producers that also works on as co-host did with us before. Let me give you his view. He says his view on the matter of Roe versus Wade being overturned is this. While I understand men and women concerned over this event, there are things to consider. One, we are a life growing outside our mother's womb. Psalm 139 says, "For you formed my inward parts, you knitted me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearful and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works. My soul knows it well." He's quoting from the Bible of Psalm 139 verse 13, and we are made by God, therefore we are a life in development from the moment of conception. Birth control is fine as long as it's before fertilization. By the time women get an abortion, human features are starting, arms and legs. While they don't look it, they are the unborn and can feel the pain by the time abortion will take place. And it's according to links that this person found, his Max Mejia we're referring to, who couldn't make it today here. But he's read some links that he found few cases that abortions have led to women developing or becoming more prone to certain cancers. In a good number of cases, he sent to the links, which I can't get up right now, but there is help for those who can't afford to raise a child. Abortion doesn't have to be the answer. Babies can survive as early as 21 to 23 weeks, and he has a friend who knows good homes. So is there anything you want to respond to?
There's so much I want to say.
Go ahead.
Oh my God, where do I even start? Well, first of all, I respect the religious perspective. I like and enjoy, and I've learned great things. I take a lot of things away from the Bible, but I do think it is unfair to make everyone adhere to your specific religious beliefs. I also do believe life is precious, but I don't think it's fair for us to say in one moment that life is precious and we should completely honor it, but then, we allow people weapons and they're not hunters. They're not killing for food, what are we talking about here? If we're gonna ride that all life is precious wave, then we should ride it to the end, and that should cover anything that breathes.
Right.
I believe that's number one.
Yeah. How is it that we could ride it to the end? Just elaborate on that. How?
Well,
that could happen. What do you think?
weapons, right?
Yes.
You have states where you're allowed to carry, right? And
Yeah.
it takes almost nothing, maybe a second grade education to buy a gun. We see it, right?
Right.
Plenty of people are wildly irresponsible with their weapons, and they're killing people. Yeah. So, as we spoke earlier, how are in some situations people are able to, in a way, be a threat to society, right?
Right.
And in a grown person's life, but they aren't able to make a decision about their life. That's one thing. Another thing, I forgot. Come back to me. It's so much.
I mean, I could go off that. I'm right in that same way with you. It's just about how once a child is born, or even before the child is born, there's not always support for the mother, financially, time off wise, healthcare wise. This is just trapping some people in cycles of poverty, or putting children in a bad environment where there might not be mental stability, or a mother who might not want this child and was forced to have it. And like church and state, that separation was apparently happened a long time ago, and this just really blurs the lines because you know what, you could even say it's against someone else's religion to say that they can't have an abortion.
Right. And then let me bring up a point here where that in 2014 the majority of abortion patients, which is about 60%, were in their 20s, and the second largest age group was in their 30s, which is about 25% here. And the proportion of abortion patients who are adolescents declined 32% between 2008 and 2014 here. So, and 59% of abortion patients in 2014 had only at least one previous birth here. So there's something there that, and you brought about the income here, where there's something about where 3/4 of patients were low income back from 2014, 49% living less at the federal poverty level, and 26% living at 100 to 199% of the poverty level here. So
can I also, you made some great points that reminded me of what I was thinking. So definitely, right? The whole, you know, it's like whenever people are anti-abortion, they always make it seem like, oh, there's plenty of things you can do with your baby, but the foster care system, the adoption system, like there's so much wrong already with systems that are supposed to be put in place for people that for whatever reason no longer wanted their, you know, or they were unable to like raise their children. So it's like, let's deal with the problems we actually have right now currently. Second of all, a lot of times women don't even know they're pregnant until well along. I know plenty of people, their stories, their parents, their grandparents, they didn't know they were pregnant until 6 months. Or I don't know, I heard at some point there was like, and please correct me if I'm wrong, it's like after a certain amount of weeks, like, do you know how often women have irregular periods?
Yes.
Exactly.
People don't know women's bodies well enough to be making these rules because they're men.
Exactly.
It makes me crazy.
Exactly. And then third of all, why don't we just have men get vasectomies? Why is it on the woman?
There was a report I remember reading briefly about there's certain men that are getting the vasectomies here, but it's not really like a large chunk. And then I know we got to go. I want to just bring this up here. And please, every man has a right to get the vasectomy as well as women who have the right to get the abortions. And don't let anyone take that right away, because you are entitled to your First Amendment right no matter what the circumstance is, all right? We gotta get back on the track to where everything was all pro-choice, because where we are right now, we're really not where we are at the moment here. Otherwise, by the time the years go forward, it's gonna get worse and worse by the second here. And just, ladies and gentlemen and everyone else watching, hope for the best and all goes well, okay? We'll be right back, all right?
Yo, this is a story about human rights. For those that don't know, you need to. Yo, a starving artist, but his lyrics so worldwide. His friend and manager was a snake in disguise, and he was bitten. His song sold without his permission. Saw his record on the shelf, the snake had stolen his vision. But knowing his rights, he could protect himself. Fair treatment by fair courts, he got the law to help. The other dude just sunk weak, looked like a punk. Could hardly open his mouth and speak, popping that junk. You better get up, stand up if you've been done wrong. You better stand up for your rights like that Marley song. Get yourself represented, lawfully defended. Know your human rights, don't ever surrender. No, don't ever surrender. Yeah. Let's go.
Dorcas, how's it going? Oh, it's a letter for Ned. Maybe she wants us to give it to her. Read it. 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 Read it.
Hey, I think you dropped this.
We are back and determined to keep WNBA star Brittany Griner in mind and in the headlines as her detention in Russia has been extended through December 20th. Griner has pleaded guilty on drug charges and is facing 10 years in prison for being accused of carrying vape cartridges in her luggage. This story has had my stomach in knots. What do you guys think of the update? At least we finally have an update.
Yeah. You go ahead.
Yeah, I feel absolutely horrible. I actually read a headline today saying that she had maybe a card for like medical marijuana, like it's medicated. But I'm absolutely certain she had no idea. Like, who would do that? Like, when you're traveling, of course, you want to be on your best behavior. No one would go anywhere thinking that, especially if you're already playing in like a professional league, no one would go anywhere thinking that, you know, you're gonna like get in trouble. You know who does?
Yeah.
So I'm absolutely certain she had no idea that I would be any bit of a problem. I feel like they're just doing this because of the problem with, you know, our like administration, but I'm also very much angry and upset because why is it taking so long for us to get her out of there? Like, why we've moved faster for people who've done way worse things.
That's a question that remains a mystery, I feel like, in my opinion, and I don't know what it is that's causing that. Because it's been more than, I think now 110 days, more than that here, or plus that, 100 plus days. But there is a clip I want to share with y'all because I know LeBron James had made multiple comments about Brittany Griner's detention, and he mentioned about it on the shop. And there's a promo about it, and I think we have the clip of it. Don't we have it? Let's watch and take a look.
White people are collecting black art. Have you had to explain that ever to collectors?
It's not the responsibility of black folks to use their work as a teaching tool.
Brittany Griner, she is in Russia. She's been there
over 110 days. Now, how can she feel like America has her back? I would be feeling like, do I even want to go back to America?
I'm not saying you got to be twice as good to get half as much. I always didn't like that saying. So I said, I just want to be twice as good because I want to be twice as good.
As a forward, you take risks all the time. If you're not taking risks, you're doing something wrong.
So yeah, that's what I was referring to about where it's like LeBron James was trying to clarify his comments about Brittany Griner, where he's saying he was not trying to knock their beautiful country, basically, but it's like he just doesn't understand that. But he's been getting a lot of criticism over his comments about that. That's the thing.
People complain so much about everything. People just want to nitpick sometimes. I completely understood what he was saying. I think any one of us would be frustrated, especially if we pay our taxes. You know what I'm saying? Especially if we feel like we're upstanding citizens that are doing the best that we can. We're playing our part in society. Like, it still remains true. Like, what is taking so long?
Right. Yeah, I understand what he's saying too. I mean, I don't think anyone's been feeling super patriotic lately, and like, I'm sure she's disappointed. And disappointed actually isn't even a strong enough word of the fear and anxiety Brittany must be feeling without any communication really from the other side. Like, did you, either of you have a chance to read the letter that she wrote into President Biden? That was like sending chills down my spine because it's such a state of desperation and confusion of what's going to happen. She said she's worried she's going to be there forever over one little thing like this that could have been an accident. Maybe she didn't know it was in her bag. And even so, if there's medical reason, why isn't that being looked at as well? You know, there's, which I guess maybe if there are different rules in a different country, that's another story. But why is this being treated like a
Like
a serious crime. It was a vape cartridge. You know? I remember at the beginning when this first happened and the war with Russia and Ukraine was really at a scary beginning, they were saying she was being used as like a, what's the word I'm looking for?
War.
I almost said
war criminal.
Yeah, I almost said that, but like a war hostage. That's the word. And I'm wondering if that even has anything to do at this point. I'm so
honestly,
confused.
It has to, because why is this not dire enough? Like, we're sending a lot of money to Ukraine, right, to help them, right?
Yes.
Why, you know, Ukraine, Russia, they're beefing right now. It's not a coincidence that there's an American there that gets in trouble for something so, you know, minor, at least in our eyes.
Yeah.
Even if, I mean, she wasn't hurting anyone. She didn't kill anybody. Like, why isn't the president over there?
Right.
Well, they're working their best they can, and but I feel like there's some obstacles that I feel like that this is probably. Jesus Christ, those damn Republicans that are trying to block everything to not let Brittany Griner back in. I don't know if this is true or not, that anyone can correct me if I'm wrong, but we're doing all we can, the best we can to get Brittany Griner back, because this is really just, it's really sickening, and just, I'm fearful of what could happen to her while she's in Russia, because, you know, Russia is really our enemy, and we never liked anything from Russia, especially with everything with Putin doing its horrible things. Like, come on.
Well, I'll say this. You know, I feel like when it comes to complications with other countries, I'm not one to say, well, I'm a Republican or I'm a like, I feel like we should have a united front. Like, despite what our political positioning is for her, or for, you know, how we feel politically, it's one of our own.
Right.
She's over there being detained for something that is not harmful to society. How many phone calls does it take? Like, what is it to take a flight over there, you know? I don't think it's fair for us to say, like, you know, damned Russia. I don't think that's fair, because you know, it's very complex, whatever's going on. And a lot of times we're only getting a very specific viewpoint of what's happening.
Right. What we need to do is take more action to get Brittany Griner back home safe, because otherwise, if we don't step it up, things could get worse as the days go forward here coming up. And I don't want anything bad happening, because obviously, every one of us is just worried for her, and I know, and there was a reason why she was traveling to Russia, because she was playing for like the playoffs or for the WNBA or some type of tournament. I have to get it up when I get a chance here. I don't have it with me right now, but it's basically that's why she was visiting Russia, basically for the like the
she was
games.
doing her job.
Exactly.
And
basically,
doing it well.
That's all she was doing here, and we are going to break in and come back with the second half of the Spotlight. We'll be back.
We're all born free and equal.
Don't discriminate.
These are your human rights. There are 30 of them. They belong to you. You don't have to buy them, or apply for them, or ask permission to have them. They're just yours. No matter who you are, where you're from, how old you are, or anything else. It's just that simple. Now, some people may try to ignore your rights, or violate them, or pretend they don't exist. But they can't change the fact that they're yours. Human right number 30. No one can take away your human rights. What are human rights? Find out at youthforhumanrights.org.
justice.
Welcome back. Singer R. Kelly was sentenced to 30 years in prison in a Brooklyn federal court here in New York after being convicted of racketeering and sex trafficking in September of last year. U.S. District Judge Ann Donnelly sentenced Kelly after she and the court heard statements from the victims. She also ordered him to pay a $100,000 fine, according to the Associated Press. The singer, who has been jailed since 2019, faces separate charges of child pornography and obstruction of justice in a federal case in Chicago, where a trial is set for August 1st. So do you think justice was served well, and do you think R. Kelly deserves this punishment?
Yeah.
Yeah. If not more, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you know, this one I think is layered. I'm not gonna say tricky because it's clear, it's wrong, it's disgusting. I think it's layered because it's been happening allegedly. Do I have to still say allegedly?
You can still say allegedly, Star Jones.
Okay. No, because, you know, I always get confused with the trials.
No, it's all right, yes.
Yeah, but, you know, this has been happening for decades. You know, we've been hearing remnants of weird behavior since we were children, so it's like, and I feel like because we've been hearing remnants of this since we've been children, and like recent victims that are now just coming off of childhood, it's like, it's layered because it's like, yeah, allegedly he did blah, 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 wrong is wrong. But I feel like there were a lot of like co-conspirators, you know, accessories to the crimes who, you know, also should be a part of this. But it's a sad situation altogether.
Yeah, 30 years is most certainly fair. And it sounds like after there's another trial that could go on and potentially add
August 1st.
August 1st, adding time to that. Like there's just never an excuse for that sort of behavior, sex trafficking, child porn, like especially with children. Like I just can't. These are people who don't have the ability to defend themselves or protect themselves in certain ways, and it's just disgusting that it kind of really slipped under the rug for a long time. So I'm glad that these people are finally getting justice. And unfortunately, they still have to live with those terrible experiences, which is unfair.
Traumatizing.
That's unfair. But I'm glad that at least they can witness, hopefully all of them, watching justice be served. And I know we had a clip to show as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a legal note here, so that's for you here. So.
Yes. So after the verdict, R. Kelly's accusers spoke out after his sentencing. Take a look and listen to this.
My name is Jovante. I started this journey 30 years ago. I was 14 years old when I encountered Robert Sylvester Kelly. There wasn't a day in my life up until this moment that I actually believed that the judicial system would come through for black and brown girls. I stand here very proud of my judicial system, very proud of my fellow survivors, and very pleased with the outcome. 30 years did he do this, and 30 years is what he got.
Today was a very special but hard day for us. I personally, this happened to me a long time ago. I was 17, I'm 45 today. I never thought that I would be here to see him be held accountable for the atrocious things that he did to children. I don't know what else to say except that I'm grateful. I'm grateful for today. And I'm grateful that Robert Sylvester Kelly is away, will stay away, and will not be able to harm anyone else.
And today R. Kelly was sentenced to prison for his many crimes against underage girls. And R. Kelly used the power of his celebrity and his music business to lure and to manipulate and to isolate and to denigrate many young girls. He was a skilled sexual predator who preyed on his victims, and after grooming them, he inflicted significant emotional and sometimes physical harm on them, which in some cases will continue to hurt them for the rest of their lives. Together, they were able to fight his power by becoming empowered young women themselves, who refused to be intimidated by him and his enablers. I am proud of all of them. And there are many sacrifices made in order to bring R. Kelly finally to the bar of justice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was tough. That was really hard to watch. But like we said before, I'm glad, at least these women are able to have some peace of mind.
Yeah, I can't believe some of them had to sit with that pain for 30 years before seeing justice be served.
Right. If you were the judge, would you have kept it at 30 years, or go at 30 years, or below 30 years, or more than that?
At least 30 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe more.
That's like a whole nother lifetime. Like, he'll be what?
He'll be 87.
He'll be 80 by the time.
87 because he's currently 57 right now.
Oh, got okay.
So if I were to do, I probably would have made it maybe 35 years. But at the same time, I have to admit being guilty of not knowing that R. Kelly was the song "I Believe I Could Fly," which was a really pop hit for the 1996 movie Space Jam. Me and Bill de Blasio, the mayor of New York, are feeling guilty that we didn't know that he sang it. I almost forgot about that, and obviously I was still young at that time, but the main point is R. Kelly should have not did that at all with the sex trafficking and harming abusive women at all. I mean, he should be, R. Kelly, you should be ashamed of yourself, what you did. So you deserve the time in jail, and because obviously you really have no respect for women here whatsoever here.
It's really unfortunate because he's so talented.
Yeah, he exploited that to the max.
Totally.
Terrible.
Yeah, we'll be right back, y'all.
Surround yourself with people that know your worth.
Stand up when you're standing in the presence of a legend. Stand up when you're standing in the presence of a legend. Stand up when you're standing in the presence of a woman that's done it way before your legs were walking. Let your action do the talking. You better
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
On Xena, our battles are make-believe and no one gets hurt. At the end of the day, we take off our costumes and we go home. In real life, domestic violence injures and kills. But you can get help, and you don't need Xena's superhuman powers. You have a weapon that she doesn't, the telephone. If you or someone you know needs help, call the National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-799-SAFE. Your call will be answered day or night in English or Spanish. Xena would want you to call, so do I.
You know, a lot of people think that when you watch TV, it takes thousands of dollars in order to produce a show. But Eminent has proved to me that with a small team, you can make big things happen.
I have taken every workshop.
The editing labs were amazing. They will help you with those first few shows to get you up and running.
The best thing about my education at Eminent is that it's never gonna stop.
I called my mother and thanked her for bringing me to this country because there is this and I get to do this.
Find out how you can get involved. Visit mnn.org/education.
So welcome back. Actress Jada, actually, you know what? I need a voice of my rest here. And this is, Via had read something. I think it would be better if you, Victoria, take this.
Thank you.
Start it off, because I'm too tired. I'm going to sleep. So go ahead.
Okay, enjoy your rest.
I don't want to hear Jada Pinkett Smith's mouth here, okay?
Oh, Lord. Thank you for this. So, actress Jada Pinkett Smith, the woman at the center of the Will Smith, Chris Rock, Oscars altercation slap, called for healing in her first public statement since the incident 2 days after the Oscars ceremony in March. On her Instagram, Jada Pinkett Smith posted a pink square with the words saying, "This is a season for healing and I'm here for it," without any captions. That was in March. 2 months later in June, she dedicated an emotional Red Table Talk episode to her struggle with alopecia, where she addressed the Oscar slap controversy and also shared personal stories from others affected by the disease. Take a look.
Considering what I've been through with my own health and what happened at the Oscars, thousands have reached out to me with their stories. I'm using this moment to give our alopecia family an opportunity to talk about what it's like to have this condition and to inform people about what alopecia actually is. Now, about Oscar night, my deepest hope is that these two intelligent, capable men have an opportunity to heal, talk this out, and reconcile. The state of the world today, we need them both. And we all actually need one another more than ever. Until then, Will and I are continuing to do what we have done for the last 28 years, and that's keep figuring out this thing called life together.
Well, what do you think?
I have a lot of thoughts. I mean, first of all, I'm a huge fan of all three. You know, as human beings, we deserve grace, right? You know, I think for a long time, well, let's just say this, as industry professionals, you know, you understand that while you're a person, you have to have a lot of restraint. So sometimes things happen in a professional environment and you can't respond emotionally. As hurt as you may feel or as upset as you may be, you know, the bottom line is you have to, you know, restrain yourself. Me personally, I'm always gonna ride for my husband. You know, I'm gonna put my husband, I feel, in the best possible position. I would never, like when I'm out in the street and I'm hanging, you know, with my friends respond to something emotionally, I never wanna see my friends in a compromising situation, especially if millions of people are watching. So I feel like there's just a way to do everything.
Yes.
And I understand, you know, her angle of healing and wanting to, you know, bring everyone together. And why are you smirking? Sorry, I thought I was picking up on something.
I'm just going through my notes here.
So yeah, I understand her.
I'm listening as I'm going through because I had some notes I wanted to share.
Yeah, so you know, I get it. I think me personally, I just, you know.
No, take your time. Take your time.
The whole situation was just wild from the get. I think we're all still processing. Oh my God, the Oscar slap will go down in history as one of the craziest things to ever see on a live award show like that. Unfortunately, because Jada was the butt of the joke, she's now in the middle of it and now has to speak up on it. And I do kind of think that the whole beginning factor of what Chris Rock even said in the first place was insensitive, given her disease, that she's very not outspoken, but she offers kind of a safe space for people to talk about it. And that was kind of a low blow on his behalf. And then the slap, I mean, I could replay the whole thing over and over again.
I think it's so layered.
I don't know.
I think it's layered because I agree, but I also kind of feel like, how do we know that he knew? Because I think her being public about alopecia is new. I think a lot of people in response were like, oh, I had no idea, right? I think they also have known each other, all three of them, for a very long time. I think it's so layered. Yeah, you know, I also feel like there was a way around that. Like, you know, sometimes, well, you know how they say less is more? Like, you know, if he would have slapped him and not said anything, then everyone would have been like, was it staged? And then Chris Rock probably would have been like, well, did the producer set this up? Like, everyone would have been confused. But because of the further like yelling in the audience, it kind of like had him reveal what was happening. So it's unfortunate all around. But I love them all.
Well, Will Smith, he's good ever since listen. I'm not crazy about Jada Pinkett Smith. I got nothing to say her because obviously she got no sense of humor. She's almost kind of reminding me of Felicia Rashad in some ways. Like if I'm remembering, it's like they just have no courtesy or just the nerve to say just be nice and respectful towards what was that? Oh, anyway, it's like I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought, but I'm trying to clearly explain that because I remember seeing something on social media where a person saw Felicia Rashad coming down the aisle and the person was like, hi, and she just ignored it and just doing the sassy walk, just really just ignoring, not appreciating, that's how I feel about Jada Pinkett Smith. It's the genuine part that really
you're not so sure.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm not so sure about.
It definitely is layered in many, many, many different ways, and then people have biases of, oh, well, I love this celebrity and I love that celebrity, or I don't like this one. So I don't know. The whole thing was a big mess that I think everyone involved is regretting the way it went down.
Yeah.
100%.
I will say this though, I mean, I've never been assaulted at work, but Chris Rock definitely, he took one for the team for that, because you have every right to defend yourself when someone...
Everyone does.
You know what I mean?
Play it off well,
Especially at work. So
we forget this is their work that they're doing. It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
It's messy.
It is messy, and what else is messy is it's confetti we still have on the table.
Party.
And so let me.
Oh no, I like my film. Don't. Okay, thank you.
We'll be right back, y'all.
Welcome to YC on the Streets. I'm your host, Peter James Chori, and today's topic is social media. Welcome to YC on the Streets. I'm your host, Peter James Chori, and today's topic is social media. What is this buzz all about? Do people have it? How often do they use it? We're gonna check out now.
Do you have any social media accounts?
I do. I have Facebook.
I have Facebook, Instagram.
Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Twitter, and YouTube.
Do you have social media?
Not really.
Do you add strangers? Or?
No, not at all. Not at all, because it could be spam or things like that. So my friends, people that I know.
I follow my friends, but I also can follow some random person. That's fine.
Friends, family, and my community, network. Yeah. So university classmates, writers. Not really celebrities on Facebook. That's more Instagram.
Yeah. And do you use it very often, Twitter?
Yeah, I definitely scroll a lot throughout the day.
So I use a lot of Instagram. So lately I use Instagram.
I used to use it on a daily basis, but now I'm on Facebook maybe once or twice a week.
I don't do a lot of social media.
And why not?
Because I feel like I'm getting distracted by it from my daily activities. So, for example, I'm spending too much time on it. Yeah, and I started to compare myself to my friends, which is not good.
Okay.
I feel like everyone is so different. You should just follow your life pattern.
Do you think social media is beneficial or harmful?
I think it's both. It can be beneficial to reach out to people, and it's harmful. It exposes too much for everybody. So.
But it's good platform who can make the money and who is still making it. but I think slowly it's going down.
It's good. Yeah, more people know about things. It's like way better.
For Twitter, just Twitter?
Oh no, probably like for all social media, really. Like hooked up to the internet, everything's moving at fast speed. People can access things from all over the world now.
Facebook's a great friend management tool, and that's what I use it for. At one point though, I would say about 2 years ago, I just realized it was like sucking all of my time and half my day was on Facebook.
It depends on avenues, if you want to make money or if you want to just be known, if you want to be a rapper. It all depends on what you want to do with it.
But I still keep it because it connects me with my friends literally all over the globe.
This wraps up this YC on the Streets. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and follow us on social media. Thank you.
So, we are thankful that you are watching us and supporting us. And we are also thankful that you all came to co-host with us. Via, congratulations once again.
Thank you.
Victoria, you're welcome here anytime.
Yes.
Thank you.
I've been feeling the vibes ever since the show started at the beginning of the hour here, and obviously it was like, I enjoyed this, and that's the thing. And we want you all to have a great week. Good luck, be well, be safe, and take a moment to express yourself, blow some confetti if you can, have fun, and enjoy. I want everyone else could say this, because this is going to be, this will definitely work here. All right, have a great week. Good luck, be well, be safe, take a little time, have fun, and enjoy the spotlight!
This is the best elevator music I've ever heard.